Walking these streets, shadows fall, lost in a world, echoes call, searching for life, voices true, St. James Church in the heart of the blue. Glorify God, nurture all, share the gospel, hear the call. That is what we do at St. James, breaking chains, singing new names.
Well, welcome to our 75th anniversary interviews. I'm here with Tom and Vonda Schabo, and they've been members here for quite some time, and so we're going to talk about their experiences here today. So tell me, how did you come into the church?
Vonda, you want to start?
Sure. Well, I actually came to this church because Tom and I started dating,
Oh, okay.
and that was in 2012. And then I started coming in that fall, and then been here ever since. So that's what started it. I grew up Wesleyan, so
Oh, okay.
I went to the Wesleyan church here in town for many years
Okay.
and grew up Wesleyan. And then when I met Tom, it was like, you know, I'll try this, and been here ever since.
Okay. So how was that, making that switch from Wesleyan to Lutheran?
The services are different. I mean,
Okay.
you know, they're more, the Wesleyan church has just a little bit different services. This one's more structured, I think, is the way I would put it.
Yeah.
You know, there's more things you guys do just follow every week. So,
Yeah, liturgical.
yes.
Yeah.
So, I didn't grow up that way, but learned to adjust, and it's been good.
How about you, Tom?
Well, I guess a little background. I'm from Appleton, Wisconsin. I've been Lutheran my whole life.
If Appleton, everybody should think
Yep.
AL, right?
Yeah, Lutheran, 80% of the Lutherans live in Wisconsin in the United States. So,
Yeah.
so I actually went to a Lutheran grade school in high school. It was the Wisconsin Evangelical Lutheran Synod, so I was born and raised that. After college, I actually moved to Indiana. Moved to Indianapolis, and I was working at General Motors for a period of time.
Oh,
And then I moved to Marion in 1996.
okay.
And I had met my first wife in Indianapolis, who was from Marion.
Oh, okay.
And that's when I got into the insurance and investment business. And so I
Okay.
moved to Marion, and actually Charity and I attended Faith Lutheran, a Wells church in Kokomo.
Oh, okay.
And we were there for 7 years.
Oh, wow.
And so she didn't grow up in the church, so this was new to her. And
Sure.
but driving that distance was challenging. And then we had 2 daughters, and our daughters actually went to Good Shepherd Preschool.
Oh, which is here, right?
Right. And so they went to Good Shepherd Preschool here at St. James, and then we joined around 2002 or so, and it's been a good experience because it was closer to home.
Sure.
We were driving a mile to church versus 45 minutes. And so, of course, that allowed myself and our family to be much more involved. And so that's kind of how I got to St. James. And, of course, before that, I knew a lot of the members already, being a representative with Aid Association for Lutherans. So,
Right.
it wasn't...
It wasn't a hard transition.
It was a hard transition for me from just leaving the Wells Church, but it was a good move. But I knew a lot of people, and it immediately became easy once I was here.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
Okay. Cool. So what roles have you held in the church?
I am on the fellowship team and on the ladies ministry team. I've been in choir. We do the nativity walk.
That's right.
An altar guild. We help with youth events. We've helped with youth events. National Youth Gathering we went to on one.
Oh, you did go to National
yep.
Youth Gathering. Now, which one did you go to?
Minnesota.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
St. Paul, yeah.
Yeah, Jasmine was there when we were in Toledo. She went to Minnesota.
Yeah, so we went there. That was fun. That was exciting. Got to know the kids really well. We've helped with the all-nighters at the church.
Oh yeah.
We're the late crew.
Yes. And then, sorry, I keep on saying Easter breakfast. We've done that.
Okay. Yeah.
So
I like Easter breakfast.
Yeah. It's always great seeing the kids
It
be
is.
involved.
It
Yeah.
is. It's a fun morning. So yeah. How about you, Tom?
Well, I had to write it down because you start thinking, okay, you do this. I was the property director, I'm thinking maybe around 14 years, give or take. I'm currently the evangelism director, and I've been doing that 4 years. Of course, being a director, I've been on the council for that entirety. I've been teaching Sunday education time for probably 18 years or more, and usually typically was 5th through 8th grade, and have enjoyed that immensely. Of course, we help with a lot of the youth events because we love kids. Luther Haven trips, concerts, national youth gathering, fundraisers, pretty much if they need somebody, we'd love to do that. Also being a lay leader in the church services, tour guide for the Nativity Walk, which has been great. Church greeters on Sundays, choir, been to church camping trips. And then now I'm also going to be an usher too. So that's going to be a new.
Oh, you're going to usher
Yeah,
now.
going to usher too. So
Okay,
obviously we've been involved in a lot of different ways through the years.
Yeah, definitely. So what are some people that have had an impact on you here at St. James?
I wrote down when I first started here, Karen Key. She was just a very positive person, very welcoming, always happy. She was just a wonderful lady.
Classy.
Yes. And I always think of Ron and Marcia.
Carpenter.
No, Ron and Marcia
Hammaker. Yes. I'm sorry.
So, yeah, they were just the sweetest, cutest couple, and they always just loved Tom. And so they just grew to love me because I was with him. And they were just so sweet together. He would take care of her.
Hold her hand.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So they were just very sweet. And Joe Chambers has always been a positive person. Always looked up to him. Neil and Carolyn Shook.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. They've moved, unfortunately.
Yeah. So they took us under their wing a little bit, and we became good friends with them. And she helped me get my job at CIO. So that was a very positive thing. Just really great people.
Well, when things are going good, everybody can be happy and things like that. But when there's adversity and challenges, you really see the integrity and professionalism of people. And just like any church, we've gone through challenges.
Oh, sure.
And adversity. The devil is going to continue to work on Christians. We know that. And, 3 people in their leadership stand out to me. Joe Chambers and Jerry Witten were both executive directors for a period of time.
Right.
And then Linda Kretzinger was the choir director for many years.
Right.
And I just looked to them when things were tough, that their behavior was so Christ-like, compassionate, and graceful. They emulated what I would like to be like when things are tough. And
Right.
And so for me, those people meant a lot there. In addition to that, Pastor Mark Carlson, of course, he was here 25 years.
Yeah.
I wasn't here during that full term, but, we had a good friendship. I went through a divorce and he helped through that. And, he was a wonderful counselor and compassionate and a good shepherd. And so going through those tough times again, you lean on those people that your brothers and sisters in Christ. And so for me, those people kind of stick out in my mind. And you could go on. I actually had a much longer list than that, and it's like all these people. But to keep some brevity there, I thought, well, okay, let's kind of narrow this down. But yeah, there's so many wonderful people here. And a lot of those people impact you, but those would be the people that I think in my mind really had an impact on me.
Are there some events or things that stand out, funny stories or just events and stories that stand out for either one of you?
You go ahead. You go
Okay.
first.
Yeah. I was thinking one of the things that stands out in my mind that was funny was the youth. I think this was before Vonda.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was the youth. We were going to Luther Haven, and it was October. And so we were able to go there for free because we were going to do some work for them.
Oh, okay.
And it's kind of cold out. It's October. So we did things like we split wood. And one of the things that we did for fun was the mud hike.
Oh,
I don't know if are you familiar with that?
no, I've been to Lutheran so times, so I don't remember the mud hike.
So the mud hike it's a pretty good distance. I'm thinking maybe a half mile or maybe even more.
Oh, wow.
And you actually go through mud, and at the end you enter the lake.
Oh.
And of course it's October, and so it's cold, but nonetheless, it represents your sins, and then when you get to the lake, you wash off and you're cleansed through Jesus Christ, and that's the represent. And along the way, you're seeing hundreds and hundreds of shoes that have been left behind because they've been lost.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Now my daughter thought she was going to get the full experience, Katie. So I went into the mud first, and it came up to my chest level.
Oh, my goodness.
Well, she decided to do a bomb in there,
Oh.
and she went under.
Oh.
Didn't get her feet down quick enough. So the whole mud hike, she's covered with mud. I mean, just completely filthy. Of course, by the time the kids get through all this, they're pretty well freezing.
Yeah.
And then at the end, when we get in the lake, we have to take out all the docks.
Oh.
And they're like, they're shaking. I'm like, let's just get this over with. But it was a great trip. We had a lot of fun. But there was some humor with that.
Sure.
Of course, the Nativity Walk, here lately, obviously that's been wonderful for our church, and all the involvement, all the work that's done, and what it's meant to the community, through some programs we've done. Right. That's been great. Of course, National Youth Gathering. I remember National Youth Gathering when you're together as a group, and I think it's in the stadium, basically.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember the name of it.
Yeah.
But singing together with everybody and having that commonality and that fellowship was really, really cool. So
that's like 30,000.
Yeah, it was big, and
big,
it was a lot of fun, and so those are things that I kind of think over the years. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the National Youth Gathering when we went. It reminded me of the growing up in the Wesleyan Church. The events that I would go to was very similar to that. Oh, wow. So you had the great music, the great speakers. You got to bond with the kids, and it was a great impact. I do remember. I always have enjoyed the Easter breakfasts here.
Oh yeah.
And because I make the pancakes?
Dinner. Yes,
my
pancakes. The Thanksgiving dinner. I'm on that committee with the fellowship team, so we always enjoy doing that meal.
I love the Thanksgiving dinner, and somebody suggested a couple years ago of canceling it for some reason. I said, "Are you kidding me? That's like the best Thanksgiving dinner ever." So
yes, so that's always exciting. Yes, we love that one too. So he never gets to come to that. Oh, because he's always in Wisconsin.
Oh, you're hunting, right?
It's deer hunting season.
Deer hunting season, yeah.
So I'm always there by myself. But I enjoy that. It's good. And I remember the mortgage burnings that we did here. So that was, how many years ago was that? It's been in the last 12 years.
Yeah.
Because I was here for that. So I remember that.
So there were 2 mortgages burnt, or
no, not that I'm aware of. It's just the mortgage. Yeah.
Oh no, I think I asked.
But the fire did go, and they kind of had to put it out a little bit, so that was that was comical.
So I asked Mike. He didn't seem to know, but was that the mortgage on this building or that building, or both?
Well, I think when you do a mortgage, it's probably just on everything.
Okay.
But I'm not really sure if there was remaining level on here, and then the new building.
Sure.
I really don't know.
I just was curious. Yeah.
One thing I just was thinking about, again, with the youth, the youth have been great. And one of the things that always chokes me up is when they do their speeches for National Youth Gathering and Catechism.
Yeah.
And I'm always like, wow. Like, they're just, you're just like so proud of them.
Yeah.
And they do it with such eloquence, and you can just really feel their faith in that. And that's one thing that I think back, that I just really love and I look forward to every year.
Yeah, it's always interesting because you do hear them express that, and sometimes, because kids can be kind of quiet in a
Right.
church setting, but it is impressive.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah.
So what are some changes that maybe you've noticed through the years as you've been here? Good and bad and different, or?
Go ahead.
Okay. The music selection has changed over the course of time. We've introduced some more contemporary music, and of course, so that's been adjusted a little bit. Of course, it used to be kind of more similar with first and second, but now you do see a differentiation more so.
Oh.
That's just like every Lutheran, takes a while to get used to everything.
Oh, sure. Sure.
We're Lutheran. We want the same thing.
Sure.
So that took me a while to adjust. The closing in the preschool and day core, of course, that's come and gone. It was such a wonderful program, and things changed, and in the community, in society, with schools, so it was a wonderful thing for many, many years. And of course, a new season occurred where it wasn't as needed. Of course, we've seen the changes of pastors. This church has been kind of unique. You had Pastor Feeney for 25 years.
Yeah.
You had Pastor Carlson for 25 years. And then, of course, we've gone through some transitions, and
Sure.
you've been here now, what, 4 years?
4 years.
There's been, that's different.
Yeah.
And it's, changes things. So those are the things I think have changed over the course of time that I've been here.
Sure.
I would say the music has changed. It's changed in a good way.
Oh, okay.
It's positive.
Most of the time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Can't be
I mean, we've had changes of pastors, but that's always been
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
The preschool did close while Tom and I were dating, I think, or maybe we were married. I don't know, but it's been in that time frame
Oh.
because I was here when they decided to close that. I can't think of anything else.
So how has St. James impacted your faith walk?
I think for me, it's been just learning to walk and know that you're covered by grace
Right.
in everything you do,
Sure.
and you just have to ask.
Yeah. Yeah.
One of the things for me, growing up in Wisconsin, we lived out in the country, so there was you always traveled to go to church, not a long distance, but maybe 5 miles.
Oh, sure.
And I really loved being super close.
I
I lived 21 years in Northwood, just real close. And what that did was that allowed me the opportunity to be here a lot.
Okay.
I could hop over especially being the property director.
Oh, yeah.
I could zip over and meet with a contractor or a business person or handle an issue. So that was mostly good.
Right.
But I've really liked that opportunity to be close. And again, that allowed me the opportunity to connect with a lot of people,
Right.
develop friendships, and have that opportunity for fellowship. For a period of time, I was able to hop over for the men's pizza Bible study, different things like that. So of course, by having those opportunities, that allowed me to be more involved, and of course, that impacted me. That I was able to serve Christ in the church, and of course, obviously, that grows your faith over time as well, and deepens your commitment to God as well as your relationship with other people.
Right. Right. It's very, very true. It's very true. What are your hopes for St. James as we look to the future of what you'd like to see it do or accomplish or become?
Grow. Grow.
Yeah.
I love it when all the little kids are up at the church.
I know. Isn't
It's
that
been great to see those young ones up there we always sit there and count how many there are.
Yeah.
And we just love to watch them. That's like our entertainment for the
Yeah.
for the Sunday morning service, you know. And when John the Baptist showed up, that was entertaining
Oh yeah,
too.
yeah. I had to do some twisting to get that guy to come, but yeah.
But yeah, that's been one of the biggest impacts, I think, is just to see there's been some new people come. That's been exciting to have that growth, and there's coming and staying, and so it's just good to see growth.
Yeah, that has been interesting because we needed certain people. I mean, we need all people, but there were certain things that we needed.
Talents.
And we need music people, and they showed up. And I mean, singers and everything else have been starting to. And it's like, so I was joking one interview. I said, well, now we got to figure out what else we need. We just got to start praying that God will send those people, and he will, because he has been. And so, yeah, that's been positive. They just walk in the door. So it's God sending them. Yeah.
Well, I think I heard the phrase, if you don't hear crying, the church is dying.
Exactly.
And, we need to invest in the youth, obviously. And I've always, the kids crack you up, and I love seeing, so if somebody says, oh, what about that kid crying? I go, isn't that great?
Yeah, exactly.
And, and so I obviously would love to see more young families. We've got a few. I just would like to see more, growth in the church, because when you have less numbers, you can do less things too sometimes,
right.
and the amount of work can be a little lighter if you have a few more hands at the table.
Exactly.
And so obviously we'd love to see the gospel being spread, right. And obviously we've done a lot in the community. We do a lot in the community. Yeah. But at the same time, it's nice to see more new faces and in the church, and develop those relationships and grow. Sure. So I'd love to see that.
Sure. Well, is there any questions I didn't ask, or anything else you wanted to share that I didn't touch upon?
I can't think of anything.
I because I've seen other interviews, I had to have a question.
Oh, okay.
So I thought, why not? Nobody else did. All right.
Well, Mike had a question, but yeah.
So nobody's interviewed you.
Yeah.
Right?
I've only been here 4 years.
Yeah. So what are some of the things you found at St. James, and what makes it different from the other churches that you've been in the past?
What I found at St. James was, I think that probably heavy lay involvement. And from talking to people like the McClures, stuff like that, I've kind of got the impression that Feeney was the one that kind of started that, and Carlson really expanded upon that, and I'm thankful for that, because there's a lot of things that have to happen in the church. They have to happen, and as a pastor, you have to make sure they happen. But hopefully, you're not the one doing everything.
Right.
And I have been in situations where I was the guy fixing the copier, I was the guy walking the fire inspectors and figuring out how to comply with the fire inspectors. I've been the guy that literally was the name on and legally responsible for the daycare, and had to deal with state officials and licenses, which, if you know that is a nightmare. Yeah. And I've had to clean the church. I've had to do everything. But I've been in this church and my other church in Fort Wayne, a lot of that task was done by lay people. And I mean, people take responsibility here, not just for setting up, but for running ministries, for the men's Bible study that ironically is not meeting today, but that's all run by lay guys. I eat pizza, right, and then I go back to my office, and they do that. And a lot of the Bible studies. I mean, we got extremely competent people here too. I mean, that people that teach the Bible studies really know what they're doing. I mean, you've got Nathan Greeley, for instance, down there, who has a doctorate in that theology, and he's teaching Lutheran identity, and quite frankly, he's better qualified to teach that than I am. I mean, I'm the pastor. That's what he does. Yeah. And you have a lot of people like that just, Janice, wow, nothing would get accomplished around here without Janice. I mean, somebody called, I talked about the guy came in trying to find the water shut off. I go, you're talking to the wrong guy. Or they call and they want something. I said, yeah, if you want something, you have to call in the afternoon because I have no idea where to find that. And the reason I don't have any idea where to find it is I don't have to.
Right.
And then Tom Jervis is always here. I think this is his second home.
Yeah.
You know, he's always fixing stuff and putting stuff together. But there's just tons of people, and so that's been a relief. And everybody's been so welcoming. And I think I realized in a different place my first parish planning council meeting. Every congregation calls that differently. So it's parish planning council meeting. That was the PPC, right?
Yeah.
So I went to the PPC meeting first, and it's on I don't know what day it was. It was a nighttime thing, and I just made this suggestion. It was just a suggestion. I figured, this will take me a year to get done. They said, where I've been before, we kind of had our PPC meetings on Sunday. It was just a lot more convenient for everybody. And I think you made the motion. I say we change it Sunday.
Yeah.
And everybody voted for it. I was like, what in the world just happened? That would have took me 2 years to get through any place else. And it would have been a debate, an argument. And it was like,
it's better.
It just happened.
Okay.
Yeah. And I guess there's just a desire to see things happen. I think that's why we have maybe the ability to look at doing some things outside, because if it was just me, I know I couldn't do it. But there's people that have said, yeah, we have an interest in doing that. And I think it's also, as a pastor, you have to learn to trust the lay people to do what they're doing and get out of their way,
right,
and let them do it, and just, cheerlead,
right,
in a sense. And
a lot of times it's better than you thought it would be.
Oh yeah. You have to let people, I think you have to let people be creative and do that position they're doing in their own way, and not really, you have to have some guidelines, but don't be too restrictive, because you never know what you're going to get. It might be better than you expected, and it usually is. So, So I guess that's the difference. I mean, we love it here. I mean, we do. We're not. The joke is I move every 7 years, and I do, and I'm in year 4, so it's like, okay, this is when I start usually planning. But I said, no, I'm not going.
So it's no longer the perfect number.
No. Perfect number is when I have that heart attack and keel over, and you guys got to call another pastor because this guy isn't here anymore. So that's pretty much the perfect number. Yeah. So,
well, we're glad to have you here.
Oh, well, thank you. It's good.
And your family, obviously.
Yeah. My wife, she really loves it here. Yeah. So, and Charlie, he's totally involved in that.
Oh, yes.
In all the pyramids and stuff, and he really gets into that. And he's He tells me what I do wrong, so he keeps me in line. So
we always have to have a mirror.
Yeah, I know.
He's your mirror.
He is. Well, anything else?
No, I think that's it.
All right.
It's been good.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for joining us for this interview, and we will see you next week. Peace out.
Walking these streets, shadows fall. Lost in a world, echoes call. Searching for life, voices true. St. James Church in the heart of the blue. Glorify God, nurture all, share the gospel, hear the call. That is what we do at St. James, breaking chains, singing new names, pushing through the night, feeling small.